Drake's doing dancehall, and people ask me what about it, and I'm like, I just wish they would give us accolades. What I mean by that is, it's not, they can't do anything by giving, like, all they can do is to shed light and say that this is my dancehall single. Because think about it, if I did a country and western album tomorrow because you told me that it's the next music coming in and I decided to do it, I couldn't really put that out and say this is Sean Paul's newest dancehall album if it sounded country and western. It would be like, what is the fuck is he talking about? And Willie Nelson and R.I.P. to Kenny Rodgers, they would come after me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when these other cats are doing, I would have to say, this is my country. This is Sean Paul's country and western album. That's how I would approach it. Now, even when I blend music, I say this is dancehall music, but I've blended it with hip hop or dance or whatever is popular at the time. They don't never give the accolades to us. They just take it. And a kid who was 9 years old, who is now 15 or 16 years old, he's like, this is so innovative. I've never heard nothing like this before. And it's like, nah, bro. It's this artist's newest music. He's innovative. I'm like, no, because if the artist did say, yo, thanks for loving my new single, it's a dancehall oriented single. Big up Jamaica and big up dancehall music and popcorn or whoever the fuck you want to big up. But it's never done in that way. The only person who I ever seen do it is Rhianna. And I'm waiting for her fucking album to come out. Because she said it was a dancehall album at first, and then it came out and it was one single, work, work, work. The rest of it was more eclectic and hip hop and R&B sounding that she usually does. So I was looking forward to hearing her dancehall album, but I thought, and she still is apparently going to put one out, and I thought that was really cool of her to say that I'm doing a dancehall album, because that gives power to it and it gives the respect to it, to a genre that you now feel that is so important that you have to take a piece of and do. So big up to her, and big up to everybody doing it. But I just wish that you would be like her and say, listen, this music is so huge, I want to do a track on it. You know what I mean? There's French Montana and Sway Lee. That track is dancehall. You know, there's even a Taylor Swift song that I've heard. Do 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 do, and she's like, "What you wanna say?" That's dancehall, man. So
yeah, but like
it's dancehall influence, and so I just want to hear that more.
If the pop genre like lifts from a certain style, then then that style eats. Do you know what I mean? So like, if you've got Kanye, or you've got Taylor, or you've got Bieber, or you've got like any huge pop stars that just go, this is why I like this, then that genre eats, because then that genre gets bigger and those people get paid more, and it spreads around. I guess with the bigger sort of pop artists, like some of them maybe don't write their own beats, maybe they don't write their own lyrics,
exactly.
maybe
and that's part of the issue. So it's not for me to be bashing everybody all the time. But when I did make those statements, it blew up like, oh, he's upset at Drake. And I'm like, no, I'm just upset at the fact that none of these cats are saying, whoa, dancehall music's huge and I'm going to do a song. You know what I mean?
Like, I think sometimes it is testament to the lack of input that they may have had on the record, because like I always find it very funny when artists that clearly don't write anything to do with their music and just turn up and sing it get asked about the song, because I'm like, well, what the fuck would they know about this? They didn't write it.
Yeah, they're like, so tell us about this song. Well,
the team of
it's a nice song. I like to sing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The 12 writers got together at a camp and they wrote this song and they thought that it would suit me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do tend to have a lot more respect for artists who write their own songs too. But I mean, singing is a great talent, man. I mean, you know,
big time.
If you have an amazing voice, someone else writes your song, that's cool to me. But I have more respect for people who are able to write and produce and sing it as well, you know.
With the stuff that you're putting out at the minute, like you've got got the more sort of like pop orientated stuff, like Calling on Me, and then you've got more
Yeah.
other stuff like Bad in a Bed and Back It Up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've always said like I'm a massive fan of listening to like grime music and patois and stuff, right? But
Yeah.
not for me.
But
I'm not able to say anything in patois without sounding like fucking the worst thing ever.
back it up there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, so like, is it a case of like having this big? Because you can write pop bangers, you can hang with the top pop, as you've shown like in the last couple of years with like Sia and Clean Bandit,
Hmm.
but it's like almost going back to the movie star adage, like it's like one big pop record and then a big sort of dance hall club record, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Um, I think that going back to the argument I had before, when I was young in the business and then I blew up, I got so much listeners that don't really listen to other than dancehall, so to speak. There's a lot of people I help to introduce other artists too. Like when I do songs with Conscience or Sasha, or Chico on my album back in Dirty Rock days. But these are dancehall artists. But then, it's just it's I don't know. There's a lot to be said for gelling the whole thing together. You know.
yeah, big time. So what does this like hold for like an album? Like what type of album are you gonna release? Like, is there gonna be one this year, next year? What's the story? What's the scoop?
I don't know. Next year, I mean, this year there's the anniversary of my first album, um, and people are trying to get me to do back some hits, and I don't mind, but I just always have been on doing new music. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, which is crazy and funny because right now I'm sitting on a lot of records that have been new or they're new to the public because the public hasn't heard this. But
So have you got a backlog of records ready to go then?
I do that I'm trying to release. But since this pandemic thing and this lockdown, I've been kind of depressed to tell the honest truth, and I haven't felt like spitting or rhyming. I did something,
Is that
one or two things.
is that because of the situation of COVID, or is that like just because you're stuck in the house?
Yeah, when there's an earthquake in Haiti, when there's a tsunami in Japan, there's riots in America right now. Like these things affect me. I'm an artist, so
Hmm.
I never ever want to be someone who just comes out and says "Nah," about a situation. I like to take it in first and say and say what's going on. But this year, there's been a lot of fucking shit to take
Yeah,
in, bro.
I feel you.
I mean, there was almost a nuclear war in January, and then Australia was burning down when I was over there. I couldn't even breathe. Then I got back over here, and this shit's just chasing me. You know what I mean? Because the first two cases in Australia landed there when I was there, and I was like, "Fuck!"
My
Took a
God.
22-hour plane ride back home with a mask on. That's horrible. And I'm thinking all of these things, and then now it starts to come over here, and then you seeing people in my age group and people who have asthma like myself being really affected by it, and then these riots and people standing up for justice, and I'm like, I'm trying to take it all in so I could give it back to y'all, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
Sometimes like I'm just like finding that like I get like that. I get like that big time, man.
Yeah,
Well, I get like that because I consume too much. I consume too much. I'm just on
yeah,
Twitter all the time. I'm on Instagram all the time. I'm listening to
yeah,
people.
exactly.
The thing is, the human brain is not designed to be listen to so many opinions once in a
All
day.
the time,
You're meant to listen to like two other people, like your kid and your missus or something like that. That's
yeah.
kind of it, right? Like that's
Yeah,
the opinions that really matter. Yet you scroll and you read 10 opinions in like 10 seconds, and you're like, "Fuck my
they're
brain,
all different,
fuck my brain."
and it kind of fucks with your brain a bit. And so I'm trying to do that and trying to just figure stuff out. Like I hate this word, the new norm, but I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm trying to feel normal again.
Yeah,
Uh, so so back to what you were saying before though about me blending the genre, like the more pop thing with Tovlo and then the more dancehall thing with Back It Up there and songs like that. I had to keep the big listenership of these people who like these pop records. And I also feel a sense of responsibility and a sense of competition still to still compete with these artists here and take part in the history of what's going on in the music here. And it's part of the reason why I'm also producing here too. So yeah, I just didn't get to say that. I put that back in.
I reckon like that we will get like a glut of your music. We'll get a lot of it, a lot of good music coming from you, like towards the end of the year, maybe next year. So like,
I hope so.
Let's hope that it reigns in a new era. Sometimes things need to burn down to build back up again.
I've been telling people that so much. You know, for even when supernovas happen, after that, there's all the magnesium and everything in the atmosphere, and it builds planets and stars, man. And so you have to have some form of destruction sometimes. And so while this stuff is happening, I'm rebuilding as we speak, as you said, but just trying to take it one day at a time, man. I have other songs that I'm going to release soon, as I said. This one with Shaggy and Spice and myself, but it also is time sensitive. I don't feel like putting party songs in people's faces right now. I think we need inspirational songs like Calling on Me and songs of upliftment. And yeah, people want to have fun, but it ain't the same type. It's not going to be the same club scenario. So I still have those songs, but I won't put them out as much, I don't think.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
Listen,
people need to focus right now, man. And music can help that focus. Yeah.
I could sit and talk to you all night, but I don't think you want me bedding here for about 5 hours from now. Mr. Sean Paul, thank you so much for taking the time out to come on the podcast. I've had an absolute blast chatting to you. It's been so fun, and good luck with the rest of lockdown. May it all come back to normal, and maybe get back to releasing loads of records and back to a fucking club.
Yeah, bro. Well, ready. And thank you so much for having me. And just big up to all the fans and everybody out there checking it out. I hope you learned something. I hope it was educating and also entertaining. Big up yourself, rude boy.
Legend, man. See you later.
Cool.